Hi, I'm Dave at Nettleton. I solve the problem of validating computer systems used in the pharmaceutical, healthcare, and medical device industries. If your company must comply with government regulations, or your company develops software for clients that do, at some point you will be involved in an audit of your system. Let's face it, when you aren't prepared, audits can be daunting. I will prepare you for those audits, and not only that, I'll teach you self-sufficiency, which means you won't have to keep hiring consultants, saving you considerable time and expense. Proving compliance means documenting the important steps, all 10 of them. Each of those 10 steps uses a fill-in-the-blank template to create a document. All of the documents together results in a validation binder like this one. The binder does more than just pass the weight test. Typically, I can complete a project and produce the validation documentation in 1/3 the time of other companies. You're probably asking yourself right now, will this guy really help us? Yes, I will. I am a teacher. You know the saying, give a man a fish and he eats for a day? Teach him to fish and he eats for life. To that end, I will teach your workforce how to maintain compliance. In my interactive training sessions, I encourage lively debate among the participants, with a little humor mixed in for good measure. The validation approach I teach reduces labor costs by increasing employee efficiency, and it increases system quality and security. Through validation, your workforce will become more efficient and more effective, thereby making your company more productive. Wasn't increasing productivity the reason for the computer system in the first place? In 1997, Title 21 of the Code of Federal Regulations, Part 11, became law. It allows us to use electronic records and electronic signatures in place of paper records and handwritten signatures. In order to be confident in computer systems and their electronic records, we need to perform computer system validation. It teaches us how the system works and demonstrates that we have analyzed what can go wrong, meaning we understand the risks involved with using the system. Over the years, the government has added regulations for electronic records and signatures to virtually all the government agencies. EPA, DEA, Department of Energy, and even the Department of Homeland Security. In 2005, HIPAA electronic security standards became effective. These are more than the privacy rules that you may have experienced at your doctor's office. HIPAA stands for the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. The industry standards that were developed over the years for 21 CFR Part 11 are directly applicable to compliance with these new HIPAA regulations. Many companies have to comply with HIPAA or 21 CFR Part 11, and many companies have to comply with both. Thus, having a single process that works for both sets of regulations is advantageous. These regulations are intended to ensure that critical information, such as our private medical records, is maintained in a safe computing environment. There's no getting around this legislation. It's mandatory, and the government performs regular audits. And when those audits come, you'll need to have the necessary documentation to prove compliance with the regulations. It may seem overwhelming at first, but everything is easier when you have an experienced guide working with you every step of the way. This brings me back to why you need a time-tested and reliable method of maintaining compliance. I've already mentioned my relatively simple 10-step process that makes maintaining compliance and managing the necessary documentation easy. By following the 10 steps and using the templates, you will be in compliance and you will have the documentation required for an audit. Finally, let's talk a bit about costs, because that's what drives your company. It's been shown time and time again that the cost of maintaining compliance is much less than the cost of time lost to rework, patient injury, litigation, and so on. This is why so many companies use my approach to validation. The cost of computer system validation ensures your investment because validation discovers problems and failures before the system is used in production processes. Validation costs are dwarfed by the potential costs of correcting failures that could have occurred in production. There isn't a company that can afford not to go through the computer system validation process. I've completed more computer system validation projects than anyone else that I know of in the industry, 144 projects at the time of this taping. In addition to educating clients on computer system validation, I also teach a 2-day Everything You Need to Know About Electronic Records course. For more information, please visit my website at www.computersystemvalidation.com. Thank you.
Check, check, testing, 1, 2, check. Whoa, check, check.